It's January 31st, 2016, and we're here at the world headquarters of the Whole Brain Foundation, and the Cambridge Caucus is in session. It's about the selection of a candidate for presidency of the United States at what we're calling the Cambridge Caucus. Because of injury and illness and other circumstances beyond anyone's control, of the several hundred people who were invited, there are only two participants, Charlie Atkinson and
Dan Hogan.
Dan. Tell me about why you came.
So one of the reasons I came is that my past work in psychology with Freed Bales at Harvard, he's developed a wonderful system for looking at where people are in a psychological space. It's very intuitive, involving three orthogonal dimensions. And the company that he's long since dead, but two people founded a company that have carried on his work, and they have taken ratings by people in the world, in the United States, periodically measuring each of the candidates in terms of these dimensions, which are then compared with what an ideal leader looks like. And they have a lot of research on what that leader looks like. And so I wanted to share, I'm going to be sending to Charlie the results of those ratings, which are very interesting because
And what was the main point? One
example is in terms of the ideal leader, the person who best fits that model actually is Jeb Bush. I have to say
of the candidates now.
Of the candidates now, and Donald Trump comes up as almost the antithetical opposite of what is desirable in a good leader. Now, in terms of explaining this, where he is in the space makes some sense, and why people like him makes some sense, because if you look at what that person is like, it's somebody who is very angry and upset with authority, and that's a lot of what's going on today with the electorate. They're very unhappy with established authority, meaning basically Congress and the presidency, and so that's the reason why people like Trump and Cruz and Sanders are attracting so much attention, but it's not a really good sign.
What do you think are the leadership style qualities that you would think would be most beneficial for our next president?
Well, the research that's been done using Simlog says that they have these three dimensions. One is what is called personalized power versus socialized power, and what's best there, and this isn't surprising, is not too much of either, but really a reasonable amount of socialized power is the best, along with there's a friendly, unfriendly dimension, and so a reasonable amount of friendliness, and which means that in terms of how people behave, the way you come up with that score is that sometimes you're going to have to be unfriendly in certain situations, and so the ideal leader exhibits the right balance of those characteristics in the right situations. And then the third dimension is kind of a task-oriented, achievement-oriented dimension of getting things done. So the ideal leader is pretty strong on getting things done, pretty friendly, and pretty interested in socialized power. And
what does socialized power and personalized power mean?
Well, socialized power is concern for influencing others for the common good versus personalized power, which is wanting to satisfy, you're just sort of self-oriented.
Dan, that's helpful, but I have a few more. Well, second question is, of all the policy issues, what are the priorities, and a phrase that you would rank as the top priorities for the next
I don't want to be answering these kinds of questions. I have You know, I mean, I
Oh, just personally.
no, what is the most important? I think the whole issue of terrorism is probably not as, I mean, I don't think we have this imminent threat, but I think it's something we really have to pay attention to. I think the whole immigration issue is something, you know, I happen to be on the side of trying to do something about accommodating all the people who are here. The economy is critical. I think the high skewing of wealth in the hands of a very few is, the research that I've read says that's one of the best predictors of a problem of real unrest in a society, is when you have a very few people controlling most of the wealth.
So if you focus on these kind of priorities, maybe other issues like education and healthcare and welfare will be able to be resolved.
I don't know about that. Those are all good issues. So,
And in terms of the vision, when you think about the vision that you have for the country, what would that be?
I would really like to see us, the biggest thing is I would like to see us come together and not be so fractured. I would like to see the right and the left work together. I think in terms of government, interestingly, I tend to be democratic in how I vote, but I think sometimes the best times have been when we've had a Democratic president with a Republican-controlled Congress, where they will work together.
That worked in the past often.
And it's worked in the past.
Yeah.
And it seems to be working here in Massachusetts with Charlie Baker.
Yeah, and it's
We've got a
happened quite
Republican
bit. That's right.
president,
Yeah.
and we've got a Democratic legislator, and we're bringing IBM to
GE.
Kendall Square and
General
GE.
Right, to Boston.
Boston is becoming a hub for collaborative creativity.
Yeah.
Well, Dan, I know you've got to go, but any final comments you want to give us as the sole and most important singular contributor to the Whole Brain Foundation Cambridge Caucus,
No,
January 31st, 2016?
no, I just, I think Charlie, I'm just hoping that things go well with the Whole Brain Foundation, and have a lot of respect for everything you've been doing.
Well, your support of it and being on our board of advisors is very important, and I want to demonstrate what I've learned to do since I saw you last, and I'm sorry about this unmentionable, but I am going to walk across this room based on the technology of the altered G and Emiche Bode. You have to move your foot, please. But I am walking on my own. I'm not running for president, but I'm walking for the selection of the president 2016.
Okay.
And we'll get a picture of us. Let's
All
get
right.
a photo. We'll